HUDs, and HUDs also donated $15. Sorry, but ARC pack is necessary for this one, referring to our sound pack. Cobalt was our winner for our sprite color. ARC was our winner for the sound pack. So thank you all so much. We appreciate all the support, and I think we are ready for some wonderful Sonic games. Are y'all ready?
Scarlett, thank you very, very much for that introduction. Yes, welcome everyone. My name is HUD601. It's fantastic to be back here, day 2 power up with Pride. Yeah, we're going to be running Sonic 3 Air. I was here last year, almost a year ago to the day, running the Tails New Game Plus Glitchless category. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We have Chaos the Imposter, and we'll tell you a little bit more about what makes Chaos unique shortly. Don't worry about what's on screen right now. This is completely normal. But yeah, firstly, let me introduce to you my wonderful commentators. We will start off. RPG, say hello.
Hello.
And we also have the lovely BenInSweden as well.
Hello.
Thank you very much for coming along. Good to have you both here. Just bear with while we're trying to sort out and make sure you guys are able to see the game so you can actually commentate. But yeah, while we are getting that sorted, yes, as you heard, we had some bid wars on the go. So first off with the sound effects pack, the Argate pack 1. So the sound effects will be slightly different to what you are used to. And for that reason, every single sound effect in this game has been replaced with Argic's wonderful voice. So enjoy that. And the second one was for the character color. Chaos comes in multiple colors and varieties. And you said it was Cobalt, I believe, Scala.
That is correct.
Fantastic. So Cobalt it shall be. Just before we get underway, I just want to make sure my commentators, can you see the stream?
Not in Discord, but
hopefully
restream is fine.
You got the restream, yep.
Yep.
Fantastic. Cool. So assuming that everything else is ready, I'm going to assume we're ready on tech with the timer. We will get this run underway. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
So this is Sonic 3 Air, or Angel Island Revisited. Ben, do you want to give them a little overview of what Air actually is to begin with?
Well, Sonic 3 Air is a hell of a game. But basically, it's a fan-made port, I guess. That they took the ROM and made their own sort of emulator type thing for Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So it uses the assets from the game, but a lot of the game engine is rewritten. It adds support for mods, music mods, script mods, like this one that we've got today with Chaos, and does a lot of quality of life fixes, like being able to fast forward cutscenes and all sorts of other things as well.
Nice stable frame rate, and as you see here, we're going to be able to skip the time bonus as well, which is rather nice too.
Yeah, it's very much sort of a definitive Sonic 3 and Knuckles experience.
Yeah.
It's really nice. One thing that you might have picked up on in chat, although we haven't talked about it yet, is how Chaos actually works. So he has a default state where he just sort of runs and doesn't really do much, and he's very slow and can just jump. But by pressing the different jump buttons, A, B, or C, HUD is actually able to turn into Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles and make full use of their ability toolkit. So for whatever he needs during the level. You'll very frequently see him turn into Sonic for drop dashing or Tails for flight. He might occasionally turn into Knuckles for a laugh, because he's honestly not that useful, outside of being able to take some of his routes. I'm sure all the Nux Gang people are going to be really, really happy with I've said that Knuckles is useless here, but like, where's the lie? That's just how it be.
Although technically Chaos is taking a lot of Knuckles' routes in this. He's useful in his story, essentially.
What's really interesting about the way Chaos works here as well is you can go in. That was Knuckles' Act 2. So he's able to break Knuckles' walls and fight either boss, depending on which one suits him. This can lead to some really interesting things where you take routes that are absolutely not intended for Sonic and Tails, that actually being able to get Sonic and Tails in them absolutely breaks them wide open. It's a very interesting and delicate speedrun because it requires you to know the optimal route for all 3 characters, and also which of the 3 characters you should be using on that route at any given time. It's a very, very interesting and technical speedrun.
Yeah, so the Chaos mod allows you to essentially pick your story, so you can actually opt to just do like Sonic story or Knuckles story, because they have different paths, different routes, different level start points. But there is a unique story called Chaos's story, which is a mix of both, as decided by the developer Sota, and that's what we're doing here. This is Chaos's story. So it kind of... Shoutouts to Sota, who's an amazing modder for Sonic 3 and the next game I'm going to be running, Sonic 3D and 2D, is a fan game he actually made. But yeah, so this is kind of a unique run through the whole of Angel Island. Some of it will be familiar to you if you've run this game before or played this game before. If you've played as Knuckles, other bits will be familiar. And then there's a little surprise at the end that we'll keep till then. But yeah, already in Hydro 2. I'm going to be making use of Knuckles here because his flight, if I get all this right, should
Actually done.
just allow me to grab that cycle there. And that is the early cycle. Very, very smooth.
That is,
if I do say so myself.
One use of Knuckles so far, if anyone wants to keep tally for how many times he's going to turn up. So what we're going to see Huds do here is do a quick flight over here to skip basically a third of the level. By doing that, we're going to see him do that again later on. It's really interesting that that's the skip that Tails and Knuckles can do, but Solo Sonic can't. But obviously Chaos being able to swap into whoever he wants can just literally go where he pleases. It's brilliant.
Well, Sonic can, but it's classed as a glitch.
Oh, true. That's true. That's true.
Remember, Glitches is cheating.
Glitches is cheating, yes. This is only good, clean gameplay here. Again, Hud's going to fly across a huge chunk of stage, skip another section. You need to do your maths.
I do. And I've forgotten my cycles. There we go. Yep.
I can't believe you didn't have to say under or over. Well played.
There's a little bit of remembering.
Hud's worked out that those platforms that go up and down are on a cycle based on the level, and that if you know what your time is at a certain point going down the slide, you can work out whether you need to go over or under. The rest of us just pause because it's easier.
Know your cycles. Cool. So one of the really nice things about Chaos is there's an interesting thing with the way the collision hitboxes work. Let me just quickly restart here. In that when you assume one of the characters, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, you actually assume their full hitbox as well. But Tails is slightly different to vanilla, and because of that, you can actually... There's a few of the bosses, like you just saw, you can kind of cheese them in that you can just fly directly into them, and rather than you taking damage, the boss will. We don't know why it happens, but we're very glad it does. It makes the bosses very easy.
Yeah, it's delightful. And it only really matters for like the Hydro 2 boss and the Ice Cap 1 and 2 bosses, which are trivial anyway, so... It's just sometimes it's nice to be able to just hold right.
Oh, whoops. Do not want to peel out, Sonic.
Ooh, very good peel out one. Oh, stop pixels.
Why?
Multiple Garden is one of those state. Well, I kind of like Act 1 in that it's really, really fast until literally anything happens that throws you off. Act 2, I'm not quite so keen on, but at least the music does have quite a nice bass line. It's going to drop down here now. Oh, 2 on the Knuckles tally. Let's go. I'm going to count all this as 1 because you haven't changed back yet. And then a quick little Tails appearance to set up a nice little boss cheese. This isn't a cheese that's unique to Chaos. Tails can do this, as can Sonic if he's got Tails as a controllable partner. It's just really nice that you can fly over him and it takes him a long time to realise what's going on.
Or if you're Super Sonic.
Oh, that's true, yeah. You just jump directly onto him.
It's not very... it's not dangerously cheesy though, is it?
No, I wouldn't say so. No. Have to save this sort of strats for later on.
So one of the key things I'm going to be using Knuckles for throughout this run is he has a kind of unique ability that when he glide cancels, so when you effectively go into a glide and then stop on the floor, you can immediately go into a spin dash. So if you're trying to, get into a spin dash in order to pick up speed, it can actually be quicker to just quickly switch to Knuckles to get that glide cancel.
That was a very nice little flight off the bouncy spikes down there for anyone that didn't catch that. Very smooth. This is a really, really nice route that sort of cuts through, cuts a very large swath of this level out. I'm going to do something similar here by jumping on these loops to not go off to the left, which again cuts out a huge chunk of the level. And with that, we're about 80% of the way to the boss, and we've just got the auto-scroller crush section to go. Yeah, it's a good shout mentioning that obviously with Knuckles, you can, if you're mid-jump, you can just tap C mid-jump to glide and then use that to stop, like so there. Like, the rest of his kit, unfortunately, isn't terribly useful, because flying is quicker than climbing almost all the time. But it's nice that every character can showcase part of their kit in some way that all leads towards a really cohesive character with a lot of good and unique movement. Very much the best of all three worlds.
Missed the bounce.
Oh.
There it is. It's a really tight one to get that.
Yeah, I like that you got it there by damage boosting and flying through him from beneath. So it's like he literally ascended you.
We do some headbutts. There we go.
We do.
So one of the other things you may have noticed is we're not up against Robotnik here. Everyone say hello to Silver Sonic. This is from Sonic 1 SMS, I believe.
Yeah, canonically.
Sonic 2 SMS.
Sonic 2 SMS, thank you. I always get the two confused.
Yeah, canonically, Sota's placed this in time sort of after the events of Sonic 3 Knuckles, so Eggman has unfortunately passed here, so... Right, into clowns.mp3, the zone. Nobody's favourite.
And given that, I think this would be a good time to say, Scarlet, if you've got any messages, now would be a wonderful time.
I don't have any donations at the moment, but I will let folks know that there's still plenty more that you can donate towards. Coming up later on, we have Metroid Fusion, and we have the classic Save or Kill the Animals. Right now, I will double check. I do believe Save is in the lead, but if you would like to upset that, you can do so. Also, later on this evening, we'll have Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, and that is a bid war that is currently very balanced between a silly boss or a stylish boss for our final boss. So if you would like to change that up, you can go ahead and donate towards that. Please check out our incentives for so many other wonderful things that you can donate for here at Power Up with Pride.
It's always got to be the silly boss. Also, I am seeing, chat, that we are just, what, $61 shy of the 5,000. Come on, let's reach that 5,000 during this Sonic block. Let's do it. I want to see 5,000 on that total by the end of this Sonic block.
Shout out to that boss that we affectionately refer to as the Doctor for almost killing Huds in his D-Rust run earlier today. So, we're going to see Huds go straight for the Knuckles path here. What's really interesting about Knuckles Carnival Night 2 is it's incredibly short. So Carnival Night 2 for Sonic or Tails usually takes around like 2 minutes, maybe upward, maybe towards 3.
Yeah, about 2.5 to 3 if you're doing it glitchless.
Yeah, it's a long level. Knuckles though, not quite so much. So
it's about 40 seconds glitchless.
Yeah, done optimally, it's a tiny, tiny level. It is, however, full of really irritating obstacles, which is a small price to pay. Lots of quick movements, and then we come straight to a capsule. I forgot that this tunnel was this long. There we go, and that's the end of the level. And that is because, not even joking, the boss at the top of the level flies too high for Knuckles to reach normally, bless him. And with that, we beat the Knuckles boss for Carnival 2, so we get Knuckles entrance to Ice Cap 1. Which means we skip all the snowboarding section, which saves quite a bit of time, even though we can fast forward that one now.
So that's actually a really interesting feature that Sota put into this, which is if you opt to actually go and do Sonic's Carnival Night 2, and you do Sonic's boss, you will start at the beginning of the slope. So you'll do the snowboarding section. If you do Knuckles' version, you actually start at Knuckles' start point. So it kind of is almost a choose your own story Sonic game in that regard.
It's really interesting, and I can imagine it must have been really difficult to get it to work properly.
Well, I think Eukaryote did it in the base game for, like, if you finish certain levels from certain exits, it does take you to the correct exit from carrying on.
That's interesting. Genuinely didn't know that. I thought that was the Sota original, as it were. Yeah, so Huds has broken basically all of the Knuckles walls on the way through here, and now he's going to just hop down here to Knuckles' boss, who, bless him, is really helpful and flies slightly closer to the ground. Not that that's necessary, because we're just going to fly in the air and kill him.
So this is another really interesting one on the basis that I've gone into Knuckles boss, so really I should be doing Knuckles' Ice Cap 2. But I spoke very nicely to Sota. There was a bug originally with this that I've got Sota to kind of put back in as a speedrun option. If I restart the level, it actually sends me to Sonic's Ice Cap 2. The reason for it, Sonic's is quicker.
Yeah, and the reason it does that is because Chaos actually technically takes Tails' slot in the game's ID. So the restarting level goes, you must go to where Tails starts. Yeah. Shout out to Sosa for being a sport and putting that feature back in for us.
Yeah. So yeah, it was originally a bug. Sota fixed it, and then I kind of went, yeah, you've just cost me 20 seconds on the run. Can I have an option to put this back in? So it's actually in the options menu as a speedrun option to basically undo the fix.
Yeah, sorry, Sota. I don't like Knuckles Ice Cap 2. Can you make it go away? which is a mood, to be fair. I get it.
Yeah.
Sonic's actual Ice Cap 2 is nice and quick, as you've seen here. We've just ran and spun our way through a load of loops, and we're already right at the end. Ready to just sort of fly in the air and casually bump Robotnik a bit. I mean, Silver Sonic, definitely not Eggman.
So Ben, do you just want to quickly talk about the menuing and why I keep exiting out the game?
Yes, one of the features of Sonic 3 was they added the menuing system, which allows you to quit to the menu. Beforehand, in like Sonic 3 Knuckles, you needed to reset the console, which gave you the Sega screen and the cutscene where Sonic comes flying in. And with this, it allows us to save time from. There's like little cutscenes between a lot of the levels. I think it's pretty much all of them that we do it for. I don't think there's any that are, unless you're doing glitched, that are short enough where it doesn't make it worthwhile, because you can exit out of the game and then just go straight back in with a few presses of the button. One thing that Eukaryote did was he added an extra menu option for getting into the options, which has tripped up HUDs on numerous occasions and other speedrunners as well.
I think the only level where it's actually worth not menuing is debatably Ice Cap, although I do it there anyway out of habit.
Yeah, I think it's probably about equal there, because the Ice Cap one's very quick.
If you're doing all emeralds or New Game Plus, it's quicker to just take the exit than it is to go to the menu and then figure out which level you're meant to be on. Sorry, New Game Plus alone. Sorry, if you're doing all emeralds, it will automatically be on launch base as the next level. But yeah, there's the thing to kind of point out, I suppose, is there's all these considerations you have to have about, when you're menuing, what you should be doing, and certainly with Chaos, as we said at the beginning, what makes this unique is it's not just about knowing one route. You need to know all three routes for the characters, and most importantly, which character and which route is the fastest to use at which point in any given level. It's a very unique run for that reason. And talking of unique, this is Knuckles' boss.
Yeah, so Chaos actually gets the Knuckles launch base 1 exit where the tower is already broken, because canonically, it's set after the events of Sonic 3, so the tower is already broken, which also means that we get to do Knuckles launch base 2, which is a brilliant level.
It's honestly one of the best. I love Knuckles launch base 2.
It's a huge shame that Sonic can't do it, outside of doing it this way round. I'm a big stan for Launch Base Zone, and even I like Knuckles Launch Base 2 more than Sonic's.
Is that 3 for Knuckles or 4?
I think we're on 5 or 6 now, because we're using quite a bit in Ice Cap.
You get some side. We're going to see him a lot here because I'm going to be using him to get quickly into these pipes.
Yeah, the glide comes in really handy here.
Oh, not meant to get caught there.
Yeah, this particular level is really, really fun to do with Chaos, because there are so many places where you can do little drop dashes to maintain speed on the slopes, or you can use the insta-shield to break things from further away, or you can use Tails Flight because it will ascend you a little bit quicker than using Knuckles Climbing. Honestly, the level itself just lends itself to Chaos absolutely brilliantly. Making Chaos take this level was a genuine masterstroke. And with that, we're not too far from the end. We're going to break the Knuckles-specific wall. This is roughly where we would fight the Egg Cannon and the Egg Pillar, and then Big Hands Man if we were Sonic, but alas, we are not. We're going to go up to the Knuckles-specific boss, which is on a pipe. Which doesn't seem like it would change terribly much, but the fact that the edges curve upwards can make certain bits of the big arms fight in particular a bit difficult. It also lets you get extra hits on him in the air, but it's really hard to pull off.
So while we're doing this, boss, Scarlet, if you've got any messages, feel free to jump in.
I do. Chat has heard your call. So we received $30 from Botulism Sauce that says, race to 5K, let's go. And we also received $11 from Weird Sound Effects. I'll do my best. Ring, 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 ring. Wow. Bow, 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 bow. And,
amazing.
Metal just jumped in here with another $20 for 5K Hunt. So I do believe, give our little tracker a bit to process. I do believe we've hit that 5K. Y'all are absolutely fantastic.
Yo.
People are like, new bot detected. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yes, keep those donations coming. We have so much more to donate towards for this event. Thank you all so much. There it is on the track.
Hey! Well done, everyone. Well done.
Well done. Let's keep that good momentum going.
So, with Launch Base Zone done, that's the short half of the game done, and we're now going to start the long half of the game with Mario Zone. Mario Zone is a really interesting and technical level in that there are routes everywhere, and it is a real opportunity for Chaos's abilities to shine, because all three characters can have different ways to interact with the different routes, and allows you to keep momentum in really interesting ways. It's going to be taking roughly the sort of a mid-stroke upper route here. He's going to fly upwards through some vines, glide through this one, and that puts him pretty much right in front of the boss. We're just going to roll all the way down, roll around some loops, save the tree.
Oh, it's going to be tight on tree. Oh, last jump didn't get off in time.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Close. I'm so sorry, Tree. F's in the chat for Tree, please. He lost his head. Yeah, Mushroom Hill 1's a bit of an interesting one. There's various routes. It kind of is go right the level, and you can kind of go in any direction you like. Obviously, if you do miss like a jump or something, there's so many backups. It's just about knowing where you're going next, really.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting juxtaposition to Act 2, which has one route that's really good and every other route which is really bad. Don't take them. So we're going to get on the top route right at the very beginning. We're then going to just fly all the way over the level to stay on the top route, go around the loop, use a little spring. Oh, we missed a spring, but it's still very
It's a spring. Recovered.
Yeah, going to take the mid route now, avoid the weather chicken, and now we're on basically the...
Don't you mean Argic?
At the end.
Yeah,
sorry.
Argic's a good chicken.
Avoid Argic, and then roll all the way through these loops and a little mini auto-scroller, and that will throw us basically right to the very end of the level. Ooh, pulley skip. Let's go. Should just have the height nicely done. Just like that.
Aww.
There's Mushroom Hill 2.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for your patience as we ironed out some tech issues. What we've done is we're going to be rolling back ever so slightly. HUDs is going to kind of pick up from roughly where we left off when the stream dropped. So that way you get all the wonderful Sonic that y'all donated for. HUDs, I believe we're good to have you start back up again. So just be sure to let our wonderful tech team know when you're getting started so they can restart that timer for you.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you very much, Scarlett. And can I just say a huge thank you and shout out to the tech team here at Power Up the Pride, getting everything back up and running. I do tech for UKSG and various other marathons, and I can tell you it's always a nervy moment when things go wrong. So massive shout outs to everyone behind the scenes. Give them all the love in the chat, please, because they've done a wonderful job getting us back. So yeah, we've stopped the timer at 21:21. That was my split time for the end of Mushroom Hill 2. So on last episode, you will have seen us get to the Mushroom Hill 2 boss. I'm pleased to say that I succeeded on that boss without dying. And we're about to go into Flying Battery 1. So we're going to resume from there, and we'll get underway in 3, 2, 1, go.
Really interesting, Huds, that you decided to fill that in by saying that I definitely beat the boss without dying, when the only people that know any different are me and Ben. And wouldn't it be really awful if we just told chat how many times you died on that boss?
You cheeky.
It was 0. It was 0.
Yeah,
So,
I did
Huds is
genuinely
now-
beat it.
I did genuinely beat it, like it's a moment of pure triumph. The most difficult boss in Sonic 3 Air.
Oh, love it. Right, so back to the Room of Doom.
Yeah, the Flying Battery is an interesting zone because in the original it's Crush Death Simulator, and in Air it's still Crush Death Simulator, but at least it's more fair. Oh, Tails just taking the spike to the posterior there, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
That's all right. It'll actually help with the cycles down here.
Yeah, how do the cycles work here exactly, Dan?
A lot of these are based on the IGT. So there's times when those electromagnet things are active and when they're not. Generally, I think a lot of them are on about a 10-second cycle between when they're up and then up again. But obviously, some of them HUD can just fly past, like that one there.
Yeah, and shout outs as well to Eukarya doing a lot of work in this zone to fix and make the hitboxes more fair. That flight that clipped the side of that rising pillar thing, just as we drop down that tube, that would have caused damage in the original game. And now we get to fight Mr. Tickles, one of the most engaging bosses in the game.
We love Mr.
Or why are you
Tickles.
hitting yourself, the boss?
Yeah.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. So yeah, we're going to stand up on his plunger, on his noggin. He's going to bop himself on the head. We're going to do that 6 times. And then he's going to take a quick shower and head to the hospital for his concussion.
Oh, bless him. Well, at least he's had a good evening. So with that done, we move into Flying Battery Act 2, which in terms of actual time is way longer, but in terms of actual content that you get to play is way shorter. It's a really, really interesting level. A lot of opportunity to make the use of all 3 characters to pick up a little bit of extra speed and keep momentum as much as possible. The level is heavily cycle based though.
Yeah, a lot of it's waiting on these screws and platforms to go down and things.
So this one's a little bit unique. For those of you who might not know, a bit of trivia. Flying Battery was originally meant to be in the first half of the game, in the Sonic 3 half, and was cut basically because it wasn't finished. So it got put in the second half of the game, Sonic and Knuckles. And obviously with lock-on technology, you put the 2 cartridges together, you get Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the full game. Because of that, at the time, Knuckles hadn't really been fully thought out by the developers. This level is one of a few that doesn't have, and it's mostly the original levels, doesn't have a unique Knuckles route. Knuckles just does Sonic's route. Ironically enough, though, Knuckles is pretty powerful in this, especially with these the coils, like the spinners and stuff. He's very useful for doing things like avoiding the spikes just there. So
yeah, the quirks of his glides really come in handy.
Also, everyone,
Spider Steve.
thank you, Spider Steve, for your service. Get your salutes out. Yeah, one of the most important characters in all Sonic canon.
Yeah, and another really interesting quirk with the level and it being a holdover is that in the actual normal Knuckles campaign, obviously you fight Egg Robo instead of Robotnik, but in the actual base game, he just becomes Robotnik for this boss in particular as an oversight. Speaking of, Eggman or Egg Robo are looking kind of different here, aren't they?
Yeah.
A bit spikier than I remember.
So yeah, little Easter egg. Fans of Sonic 2 will recognize this. The original Mecha Sonic. As Silver Sonic's evil henchman. Yeah. I always forget, was he Mecha Sonic or was he Silver Sonic? Officially. Ben will know. Ben knows everything.
Well, I always refer to him as Silver Sonic for that one.
Yeah, I do as well.
Oh, there you go then.
Because Metal Sonic is the CD one, and Mecha Sonic is the one that's in Sky Sanctuary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bitches is cheating!
It's not a glitch, it's a hidey hole. Yeah, for some reason, there's like a random hole there that you can get into. You can just hide in there. It's in the original game. They left it in air. It's there.
I can only assume it's just someone forgot to put a bit of collision there.
Yes.
Yeah, a bit of terrain.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to try the Ricky's strat here. Oh.
Yeah, something we've not mentioned as well is...
Oh, I'm dead. Oh no, I got a ring. Oh, phew.
Is that Chaos actually gets the harder Knuckles variant for most of the bosses. So the Sonic version of this boss doesn't shoot the fire constantly, and it also moves slower.
All the love in the chat for that one ring, by the way, that just saved me.
Yeah. And with Flying Battery done, we now move into Hud's favourite level, and the second most popular zone in S3K.
This is Sandopolis. I have done this a fair few thousand times, to say the least.
Yeah, and this is also this level in particular has lots of opportunities for good skill expression and going quickly. And I know I've said this quite a few times already, but like Chaos really shines here because you can take a combination of every character's path and use all of their abilities.
Although ironically, we mostly just take Tails' path because it's fastest.
Mostly Tails' path, but occasionally we might do a drop dash or turn into Knuckles.
Oh yeah.
Or turn into Sonic and get hit on spikes as well, because that's RNG manipulation for a strat coming up. Again, another level that is very heavily cycle based.
Oh, okay, I'm going to the other side. Didn't get the Tails flight.
Yeah,
Sticky buttons. Shouts to Old Cloth for that little jump there, by the way.
Oh yeah, let's go Cloth Jump.
The Cloth jump.
So as we come through here, we're going to come to the Pyramid Rising cutscene, which we can now wonderfully fast forward. This boss is really interesting. This boss we can either hit in the head, or there is an alternative strategy where the boss says, "Humour me, and I'll leave you be."
I'll give you one, all right? I'll give you one. There you go.
You're not going to fully humour the boss?
No, it costs like 30 seconds. You can claim it's less than that all you like, but it's not.
Oh, I could not believe you wouldn't humour the boss. One thing that's actually genuinely really nice in there is that when you hit the boss, he slides along the floor, which massively speeds up that boss fight.
Beep. Beep beep.
I'd say I love the ghost sound effect that I'll put on this one. The ghost!
I mean, it's an accurate description of what they are, isn't it?
It very much is.
Yeah, Sando 2 is another level that's really, really good for Chaos. There's lots of routes through it. So the thing with Sando 2 is, as a kid, I hated this level. And I imagine there's not many people that really are terribly fond of it.
Same.
And that's because the level sucks if you play as Sonic.
It really does.
If you have to sit and wait for the sand slides, dreadful level, abhorrent. If you can do anything else to skip those sand slide bits, absolutely brilliant level. Mwah, chef's kiss. For a second, I really worried you were going to get squashed by that.
No, I was early to the cycle. Okay, so we are fully dark now, which means the Hyodora, or the ghosts, are going to be coming after me shortly, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful to try and avoid them. Here they come. But there's going to be a light switch in a second that's en route that we pretty much always get, just up here. Dang it. There we go. And they go away once again.
I like how one of the ghosts just got a little bullying in just before you made him disappear and said, nope. You will respect me.
Okay, I can't spin dash on that for some reason. Thank you, game.
Sonic 3 has a hell of a game.
It is indeed. Okay, this one I need to be careful not to get crushed on. Oh, we're fine. Good cycles.
Yeah. Oh, so that one in particular is kind of the dicey part of the level. There are a few bits in a couple of levels where you might just die if you've timed it badly, and there's not really any way to know. Yeah, nice little, not a glitch. That's just been done there, by the way, going up the sand slide. It might have perhaps looked like one, but it definitely was not.
Although for Tails, it can be a bit of a pain to do that one because, like, for some reason, it will put him in like the standing animation, and then but not actually on the actual platform or the sand, so you fall back down again.
Just like that, we made it 3 times. Are we going to get him to stay completely still? Oh, not quite. Again, this boss moves quicker for Knuckles, and that can genuinely be very difficult to adapt to if you're not expecting it.
There we go. Not a bad Sando 2, made all the better for having Tails available, that's all I can say.
Absolutely.
And into Lava Reef, the beef.
Yeah, so we're coming up into our basically our penultimate zone now. As we're doing Chaos Story, aren't we, Huds?
Yes.
Yes, so yeah, we're coming into the penultimate zone now because I'm including Python Palace and Sky Sanctuary as one zone. Mentally, that's how I think of them.
Yeah. What's interesting about this is actually Knuckles' Lava Reef that we are in, which is... It's an interesting level, very cycle-based, very cycle-heavy with all these crushers. Need to be very careful of them. Very tricky little one to get through, but much faster than Sonic, so we're very glad about that.
I personally think that's a really interesting quirk with sort of how Lava Reef works, in that for Sonic, it's kind of a tricky level, but it's not like super difficult. For Knuckles, it's his final zone, so like it genuinely needed to be very challenging, and that really shows in sort of the object placement and sort of how you have to work to really avoid everything and make it through quickly. And this continues into Act 2 as well, where Sonic's Act 2, that we won't be seeing, is kind of long, not really much to it. And Knuckles' Act 2 is full of obstacles and is really hard to actually go fast in. Right, now we need to deal with Woobly Arms first.
Official name.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Big Palm.
What's interesting is this one is known... Big Hands, isn't it? I think the official name is for this boss, but it's only one hand.
Yeah.
Or Big Arm. Is it Big Hands, I think? What's it called, Ben?
Isn't it Heat Arms?
Oh, Heat Arms.
Heat Arms.
Sorry, Heat Arms, that's it. I'm getting confused with Big Arms with Launch Base. Yeah, Heat Arms, plural, but there's only one.
Well, I think it's a reverse to the wavy things.
Right, so we're going to be taking Knuckles Lava Reef Act 2 because it's much, much quicker. And there is an incredible sort of... I wouldn't necessarily say Easter egg, but obviously we're going to be taking the Knuckles exit in this level. And those of you that have played this before might realise there's something Knuckles doesn't do in this level that no one that has played it as Sonic actually likes.
So true.
Genuinely makes this run, like, actually very enjoyable. Because you get to this bit and you realise... Yeah, like, Knuckles Lava Reef 2 is a difficult level. If Huds loses this fire shield, it's not going to be brilliant for him. There is a backup one that we can get here on the left, but unfortunately the backup fire shield is basically after the point where it's really useful. But there are still a couple of extra flamethrowers that Huds is going to keep the fire shield for, just to make sure he doesn't have to waste time or damage boost for any flamethrowers. This is a really, really interesting level in that if you keep the fire shield, it's straightforward enough, but you just need to sort of platform well. But if you lose the fire shield, it's an absolute nightmare.
Oh my god, Tails, please, thank you.
He just didn't feel like it. And with that, we are through scot-free to the very end of Lava Reef 2. This is normally where Knuckles would push us down into a pit and we'd fight that dreadful 2-minute auto-scroller boss. We don't have to do that, and that's why this run is goated. We get them straight to Hidden Palace, straight into Knuckles' sort of top entrance, and we get right to the Doomsday Mule very quickly.
Yeah, so this one's another interesting change, the fact that you start in Knuckles' area, and anyone who knows anything about S3K will know that Knuckles' Hidden Palace, there's a bit of a meme in the fact that pretty much every Sonic speedrunner holds the world record at exactly 8 seconds.
Yeah, juice time.
It's called juice time. But yeah, so Sota, you start off in Knuckles' area, but the teleporter doesn't work, and you have to continue on and actually go and do the boss, like Silver Sonic. But yeah. So that's that one done. Bit of a fast forward for the cutscene, and we're heading into Sky Sanctuary, and my favourite music in this particular music mod pack, in this enhanced mod pack.
For a second, I really thought you were... I don't know why, but I just understand.
I'm glad you understand, RPG.
I do understand. This is a really, really interesting level because it basically just becomes fly up the level. There are 2 mini bosses in this level. We're not going to see either of them because we're just going to fly over them between the level geometry. Tails really breaks this level. Nice backup with the invincibility that was definitely intentional.
100% intentional. Very frustrating as I now don't have a lightning shield. It's fine, I can use Tails.
Yeah, Tails is incredibly OP in this particular level. I'm just going to continue to ascend. We skip 2 of the bosses. We're going to skip another teleporter in a minute because we can just jump and fly. And then we're going to skip doing some little platforming and running by just jumping and flying. And then we're going to go to the boss.
And Sky Sanctuary Act 2!
Plot twist, dun dun dun! So we have to do Sonic's Sky Sanctuary up to the boss point, up to the boss fight point, and then we get taken to Knuckles' boss fight instead. Oh no, where were you when Silver Sonic was killed?
So first part of the fight, gonna get, come at you, 8 hits on Silver Sonic, and then we're going into the second part. Heads up on time, it's going to be coming up in around about a minute or so.
Yeah, so the way Silver Sonic works here is he's literally a reskin of Mecha Sonic. Although there is a slight quirk, or not quirk, a slight change to how his AI behaves here that can absolutely throw off sort of a seasoned player. In that he won't ever do this attack where he becomes vulnerable unless you stand directly beneath him. But outside of that, the boss fight is unchanged and it's relatively straightforward. Grab 5 quick hits on the first power down phase and then grab the other 3 afterwards. And doing this skips his phase 2 where he sort of floats around and becomes vulnerable periodically.
So time is going to be coming up on the fade out. 3, 2, 1, time. And that is Sonic 3R Chaos the Imposter. Chaos' story.
Now he's a puddle.
And now he is indeed a puddle. Watery boy. Yeah, it's honestly it's one of my absolute favorite runs to do. It's such a unique way of playing this game. For anyone who's played Sonic 3 and Knuckles, maybe you've even played Sonic 3 Air and you've gone through all the stories, you've done Sonic and Tails, you've done Knuckles, you've done even Tails, and you want a new challenge. Chaos the Imposter is one of the most unique and one of the best challenges you can have. As we kind of alluded to during the run, it's not just about knowing one route. You need to know all the routes for all the characters, and you need to know which one is best to use at any given time. The speedrun for that reason is so fun. It's a real blast through Angel Island, and I absolutely love doing this run. So yeah, that's that. I know we're behind, so I just want to say firstly a huge thank you to both my commentators, to RPG and Ben. RPG, if you want to start, where can the lovely people find you?
Lovely people can find me, not very often, but sometimes over at twitch.tv/RPG_hidden wizard, where sometimes I'll stream speedrunning, sometimes I'll stream any old tat, and sometimes I make video game instead.
Did you do? And Ben?
Well, I'm on twitch.tv/BenInSweden, but I stream probably about once a year at the moment, so if you're like me, you might get lucky.
But yeah, other than that, that's Sonic 3R. Do please go and download this game. It is completely free to download. You do need the Sonic 3 and Knuckles ROM. Please acquire it legally if you can and pay for it. Support Sega. Massive shout outs to Eukaryote, the developer of this game. It's honestly the best way to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles. There's no doubt about it. Also shout outs to Sotanuk, who made the Chaos mod. Thank you to Argic for the sound effects pack. And with that, I'm going to hand back over to Scala to take us to intermission.
Thank you so much. We are going to just take a little break, but then we will be back with more Sonic in just a moment. So y'all, please stay tuned here at Winter Pride 2022